Well, sort of all around a strong quarter for the company operationally. We're in a period now where we're growing based on the back of our newest pharmaceutical products, 9 products launched in the last 3 or 4 years. And this is really driving our growth. 9% top line growth internationally and in the U.S., all driven by volume. And then in the middle of the income statement, we've been focused on productivity. Costs are down 1%. So the bottom line is up 35% EPS, very strong quarter, and that beats street expectations. Going forward, we're raising guidance again, and really increasingly confident about our ability to hit the midterm guidance, which was a 5% CAGR on the top line between 2015 and 2020.
You know, when it comes to drug prices, one of the first questions that always comes up from the street is what happens with President Trump saying that he does not want to see an increase in drug prices. You addressed that this morning, pointing out that you're going to be looking for revenue growth from volume. You're not planning on raising prices on any drugs?
Well, we've been saying for a while, we have a volume-driven strategy. We have new medicines that can make a profound difference for patients. Our goal is to get those medicines to the patients. So that's what we're doing. Now, since the blueprint was announced, we have not changed any prices in the U.S. And as we're saying today, our guidance doesn't include any U.S. price changes either. In fact, on our most widely used product, and maybe a product that touches the most sensitive population, which is insulin, we haven't changed price in over a year. So we're sensitive to the debate going on. We know consumers want us to restrain, and we really need to see what comes out of this blueprint, which is a potentially sweeping set of reforms that Secretary Azar and the administration's rolled out. So that's where we are right now, and we think it's time for some change. So we're watching this carefully.
I think it's time for some change, and how would you like to see that change take place?
Well, I think the administration got it right when they said the system is oriented toward the system, not the patient. So what we would like to see is that the patient rewarded with lower prices at the pharmacy counter versus lots of actors across the system, each having their own complexities, but the patient in the end paying more and more. And that's what's been happening in the last 5 years.
What's the problem? Are you talking about the drug distributors? Are you talking about anybody along the line? I mean, do we need fewer middlemen? Is that what you're saying?
Well, really, I think everyone is trying to do their job, but the effect of this system is one where the patient's paying more. That can't work, and I think that's what the administration is calling out. That's what we've called out in our own response to the blueprint, is let's change that. Let's work for the patient. I
mean, part of the problem is that list prices for drugs are often not the price that is paid by the employer, if the employer is the one who's insuring the company. I mean, there's that split between what insurance companies pay, what companies pay, and what the average consumer who's not dealing with the big payer along the way. Is it fair to say that we should be squeezing the difference between the price paid and the list price?
I think that's a good direction. That's what we're for. Really, the only person out there paying list price today is frequently the consumer at the pharmacy counter when they're in a high deductible or if they don't have insurance. That's what needs to change.
Right. Dave, let's talk about your other news this morning, and that's the spinoff of the Animal Health Unit. Why are you doing that?
Well, last October, we said we were going to take a look at this unit after years of strong growth and an inorganic agenda that really grew this business to be global scope and scale. We've been taking about 9 months to look at all our options with the goal of pursuing one that would maximize the value to Lilly shareholders after taxes. And we looked at holding the business, potential sale, or an IPO. And we've concluded after this review that an initial public offering is really the best path forward to separate this business through time, which will not only produce value for our shareholders, but allow Elanco to focus on its customers, allocating resources appropriately, and then Lilly to focus on our critical mission, which is to bring life-changing medicines to patients.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.